It'll be a moment of truth for NATO on Wednesday, when the Western Military Alliance releases a joint statement on a heavily pushed and previewed collective defense spending hike. Allies have been corralled, cajoled, and pressured to hike their defense expenditure from 2% to 5% of each member nation's gross domestic product by 2035, even as some have struggled to meet the lower target. CNBC spoke to NATO members on the ground who told us that the bloc's 32 member states will likely greenlight the hike on Wednesday. NATO ambassadors have already agreed in principle, but that action and the deadline could still slip. Of course, these are difficult decisions, let's be honest about that. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte told CNBC's Steve Sedgwick on Wednesday. 7 or 8 countries at the start of this year were not even at the 2% target, but now they've committed to doing it this year, he added. But you're right. Countries have to find the money. It's not easy. These are political decisions. But at the same time, there's absolute conviction with my colleagues at the table that given the threat from Russia, given the international security situation, there is no alternative. The U.S. commitment to the alliance is also in focus, after years of U.S. President Donald Trump's frustration at Canadian and European allies not pulling their weight when it comes to defense contributions. As he jetted into the summit late on Tuesday, Trump appeared to question NATO's central tenet of collective defense, Article 5, that states that an attack on one member is an attack on all. There's numerous definitions of Article 5. You know that, right? Trump told reporters on Air Force One. But I'm committed to being their friends. You know, I've become friends with many of those leaders, and I'm committed to helping them. Mark Rutte has been looking to reassure allies that Washington won't abandon the bloc, telling the summit that there is total commitment by the U.S. President and the U.S. senior leadership to NATO. However, it comes with an expectation. And the expectation is that we will finally deal with this huge irritant, which is that we are not spending enough as Europeans and Canadians, Rutte said Tuesday.